One of the most overlooked aspects of Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't a character or a mission. It's the way the game quietly explores the death of traditional Native American life through the story of the Wapiti tribe. While many players focus on Arthur Morgan, Dutch, or Micah, the story of Rain's Fall and his son Eagleflies adds one of the most tragic and realistic layers to the entire game. Their presence reminds us that the gang's chaos isn't happening in isolation. It's part of a much larger story of America's expansion and destruction of native culture in the late 1800s. When Arthur first meets Rain's Fall, the Wapiti are already a displaced people. They've been forced off their lands by government corruption and the greed of industrial companies, especially Cornwall kerosene and tar. This isn't a one-time event. It mirrors what actually happened during that era. The United States government broke countless treaties with indigenous tribes to clear the way for railroads, oil fields, and towns. Rockstar didn't exaggerate this. It's historically accurate. The Wapiti struggle is based on real-life tribes who suffered similar displacement in the American West, like the Lakota and the Cheyenne. What makes this storyline powerful is how differently Rain's Fall and Eagleflies respond to oppression. Rain's Fall, the father, is weary of war. He's seen how violence only brings more suffering to his people. He speaks calmly, prays, and looks for peace, even when faced with betrayal. Meanwhile, his son Eagleflies burns with anger and wants revenge. He doesn't care about diplomacy anymore. He wants to fight back. This conflict between patience and rage, between peace and pride, becomes one of the most emotionally charged subplots in the game. Arthur, who's already struggling with his own sense of morality, finds himself deeply affected by the Wapiti's pain. When he helps Rain's Fall recover his stolen horses or delivers the sacred items back to their camp, you can see how it changes him. These aren't just side missions. They symbolize Arthur rediscovering his humanity. He begins to realize that all his years of robbery and killing meant nothing compared to the quiet dignity of a man trying to save what little remains of his people. One of the most heartbreaking moments in the game is the final assault on Cornwall's refinery. Eagleflies charges into battle, full of courage but blinded by vengeance. He fights bravely, but it's a hopeless effort. The government and the Pinkertons crush the resistance, and Eagleflies pays the ultimate price. His death isn't just another tragic cutscene. It represents the final death of the old world, the loss of a culture that never had a chance to survive against greed and progress. Rain's Fall's reaction after his son dies is one of quiet devastation. He doesn't scream or demand revenge. He simply tells Arthur that his son is free now, and that the fight is over. It's a moment of peace in a world that refuses to offer any. And when he rides off into the mountains at the end of his story, you know he's leaving behind not just his tribe, but everything he once believed the world could be.